In this video, I'm going to show how to take the derivative of a function. So, what is the derivative? The derivative is basically just an equation that you can derive that will allow you to find the slope at any given point along a graph. And you can do that by finding the derivative, and then you just plug in an x value, and then the equation, once you solve it, or simplify it, I guess, will yield the slope at that given point. So if you have a graph like this, the parabola, and you want to find the slope right there, just the tangent line that just touches it, it's obviously going to be different than that, and maybe something up here. They'll all be different. So say that's at 2, x is 2, so you just plug in 2 to the derivative equation, or the expression, and then it will yield the slope, the tangent line right there. So how do you take the derivative? Basically, all you do is multiply your exponent by the coefficient in front of your variable, subtract 1. So z prime of n, prime is how you indicate that it's a derivative, z prime of n equals 2 times 2 is 4, and then n squared minus 1 is just n. 2 minus 1 is 1, n to the first is just n. Plus 7 times 1 is 7, n to the 1 minus 1 is the same as n to the 0, which equals 1 because anything to the 0 equals 1. So your derivative equation for this is z prime of n equals 4n plus 7. So if you plug in any x value, it will give you the slope at that point on the graph. So let's look at number 7 from 12.4. Y of f equals negative 11f and to the first. So multiply our exponent, subtract 1. So y prime of f equals negative 11. 1 times negative 11 is negative 11. 1 minus 1 is 0. F to the 0 is just 1. So y prime of f equals negative 11. So that is the slope at every single point along the graph because there's no place for you to plug in an x value. And you can check your work by using the instantaneous rate of change formula. So that is f of x plus h minus f of x over h, and then the limit as h goes to 0. And this is just a generic formula. It might be a little confusing because that's f and this is f, but normally a function is f of x instead of y of f. So let's try it. So we have negative 11 times x plus h. We substitute x plus h in for f, minus negative 11x over h. So we can distribute negative 11x minus 11h, and then that equals negative 11x. We distribute the negative, so that becomes plus 11x all over h. So those cancel, they're opposite terms. Negative 11h over h. H cancels, which equals negative 11. So this should be the same as what we got up here, and it is in fact. So we know that we did it correctly. So that is how you find the derivative of a function, and thereby find the slope at any given point along the graph.